What if you disappeared from the internet for 7 days? No posts, no scrolling, no messages, just silence. I tried it. A full week of digital quiet. And what happened? To my thoughts, my body, my emotions, was not what I expected. It started as an experiment, a kind of personal retreat, but it became something deeper. A confrontation, a rediscovery, maybe even a return. The preparation itself felt strange, like packing for a trip without moving an inch. I deleted the apps, every last one. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, the news, the chats. I silenced every notification, set up auto-replies, told the world I'd be unavailable for a while. And then, I waited. I adjusted MySpace too. Removed distractions. Left out a few books, a notebook, and a pen. Cleared the desk. No screens except for essential work. And even that, reduced to the bare minimum. The goal wasn't just to unplug. It was to hear what happens in the silence that follows. Day 1 felt manageable, but beneath the surface something stirred. A kind of restlessness. Like phantom limbs, my hands reached for apps that weren't there. My brain kept whispering, check your messages, see what's new, stay connected. But there was nothing to check. Nothing new. No one to stay connected to. By day 2, the discomfort grew louder. Boredom showed up like an unwelcome guest. Minutes stretched. Silence pressed in. I didn't realize how much stimulation I had trained myself to need. Dopamine on demand. A fix every few minutes. Without it, I felt twitchy, distracted, vaguely unsettled. But I stayed with it. Somewhere around day 3, something began to shift. The tension started to dissolve. The itch to check things faded. I stopped looking at the clock. My thoughts slowed down. Not in a dull way, but in a spacious one. There was room now. Space between thoughts. Like stepping into a clearing after wandering a dense forest. I found myself noticing small things. The way sunlight moved across the floor. The rhythm of my breath. How a page feels when you actually hold it. Turn it. Spend time with it. I journaled, but not obsessively. Just enough to keep pace with the changes inside me. There were no profound revelations, just a growing sense of presence. By days 5 and 6, the silence had deepened. Not just external, internal. I wasn't fighting it anymore. I wasn't waiting for the end. I was just there. Awake, alert, and oddly peaceful. Sleep came easier, deeper. I didn't toss and turn with buzzing thoughts. I wasn't flooded with input from dozens of voices, each one vying for attention. Instead, my mind felt uncluttered, like a room that had finally been cleaned. Focus returned too. Real focus. The kind that holds steady without slipping. I could read for hours without checking my phone. I could walk without needing to capture or share the moment. I was in the moment, without even trying. And then there was something unexpected. A kind of emotional thawing. Feelings that had been buried beneath constant stimulation began to rise. Not in a dramatic way. Just honestly, I realized how much I'd been numbing. Not intentionally, but subtly. With headlines, with memes, with other people's lives. The quiet made space for my own life to come into focus. The insights came slowly, gently. Not as conclusions, but as quiet recognitions. First, that my mind isn't nearly as noisy as I thought. It's just overstimulated. When I take away the constant input, it knows how to settle. To breathe. To be. Second, that there is a voice inside me. One I almost never hear because it gets drowned out by the endless scroll. But in the silence, it returns. Soft. Honest. Undistracted. And third, the internet is a river. It flows endlessly. It never stops. And it's fine to step into it. But it is not a home. You can't live in a river. You'll be swept away. You have to step out from time to time. Onto the shore. Onto solid ground. Where your own thoughts live. Where your real life waits. I returned after the 7th day. Turned everything back on. The world hadn't ended. Nothing essential had been missed. But something in me had changed. The noise was louder now. Not because it got worse, but because I had remembered what quiet felt like. There's a line that stayed with me. The digital world screams. But real life, it whispers. And to hear a whisper, you have to lean in. You have to be still. You have to listen. You don't need to disappear forever. You don't need to delete your accounts or move to a cabin in the woods. But you do owe it to yourself, from time to time, to return to yourself. To unplug, not as escape, but as a way of remembering. Remembering that your thoughts are worth hearing. That your time is yours. That presence is a muscle, one that grows stronger in the quiet. So, what would happen if you stepped away for a week? Maybe you'd find what I did. Not emptiness, but space. And in that space, the quiet voice of your own life, patiently waiting for your attention.